And we would like to say to you that the sicker you are in your physical body, the weller you are vibrationally. And the weller you are vibrationally, the stronger the call of source is. But you got to turn in the direction of it. And fear is turned upstream. We see you. You take your raft down to the river, you put it in, and invariably, you human buggers, you turn it upstream and begin paddling very hard. And we say, why not go with the flow? And you say, oh, that's far too easy. That just seems lazy. Anybody could do that. We've been trained to try hard. We've been trained to struggle, to persevere, to be virtuous and valiant. And we say, but nothing you want is upstream. You're not even making any headway. You're paddling and paddling and paddling, but you're not getting anywhere against this current. All you're doing is keeping yourself from enjoying the ride. Everything that you want is downstream, and the reason that we know that is we're downstream with it. The reason we know that is because we saw you coming in. You are part of that which we are. We watched you with the contrast. We saw that which you have become. We gave our undivided attention to what you've become. We've been calling you toward it ever since, but you're going the wrong way. Negative emotion always means you're going in opposition to who you have become and what you want. No exceptions every time. So then you say, well, what do I do when I have negative emotion and I can't get rid of it? And we say, you can't get rid of anything. There is no such thing as getting rid of anything in a universe that's based on inclusion and attraction. When you look at something and you say yes to it, you include it in your vibration. When you look at something you don't want and try to get rid of it, you include it in your vibration. Because there's no such thing as no in an attraction-based universe. So the key is to give your attention to what you want, to talk about what you want. And you say, I can't, I don't have it. We say, imagine it. You say, I can't, what I'm living is too big. We say, then look for the best parts of what you're living. You say, I can't, there aren't any good parts. We say, then you're screwed. If you have no ability to reason, if you have no ability to decipher, if you have no willingness to try to feel a little better, then you are on empty, and hang on, it'll be over soon. People say, I've jumped out of an airplane, I'm at 40,000 feet, I have no parachute. What should I do? We say, hang on, it'll be over soon. But you're far from that. In other words, you have all of these resources. You have source energy calling you. You have source energy who has become all that you want. There is a veritable fortune amassed for you, and clarity and bodily conditions that will please you in relationships. All of the things that your life has helped you carve out are here for you, calling you toward them, and so close to you. If you knew how close you are to the success that you want, and if you would let the success that you seek be emotional success of joy, if you would say, nothing is more important than the way I feel, and today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, it is my dominant intent to look for that which I'm wanting to see. Oh, I can't help but decipher, but once I come to a conclusion, I'm going to give it my undivided attention. Do you go to the buffet and say to the nice people behind the counter, I don't like that, and 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 I don't like that. I really don't like that. That sort of makes me sick even to look at it. I don't like that, and I don't like that, and I don't like that. And in time, they would say, this might go faster if you would just tell us what you do want us to put on your plate. We think that your ability to decipher contrast has sort of gone awry, in the sense that you become so problem-oriented. That's what's going on with this global warming thing. Do you know, if you were to accurately depict the bad things that are going on your planet in relationship with the good things, and CNN or some other news channel were to make a commitment that they would give you a proportionate accounting of what's going on, the news would go zip across your screen once a year. Zip. And you say, what's that? Oh, that was this year's bad news. But instead, they scour the planet after sending their own insiders of trouble. And they focus upon pockets of things not going well. They exaggerate them, put music behind them, and put them on an incessant loop, and feed them into your living rooms. And you come away with it with a distorted, disproportionate view of this magnificent planet of well-being upon which you are living. You don't focus there and destroy your planet, because you are not the creator of this planet. Good for you. You don't destroy the planet by focusing negatively upon it. You just use it as your temporary excuse to not allow you to be who you are. In other words, you just use it as one more reason to not allow the resources that are flowing to you to flow to you. The good news is the dilution ratio is such that many of those who are really worried about things, the longer you live, the more you find to fuss and worry about things. You keep croaking. And that's such a good thing. Because when you do, you reemerge back into pure positive energy, and new energies coming forth come forth frisky and knowing well-being predominantly. Then there is the animal content of your planet. They are pure positive energy. Those that you domesticate begin to act a little bit like you, but those in the wild who are on the whole pure positive energy, they are adding enormously to the balance of your planet. And then there are those like you who come into conscious, deliberate alignment. In other words, this is the time of awakening. There has never been a time on this planet more prosperous and more ready for the benefit of life in any time-space reality. And as you line up with that and thrive, there will be others that say, oh, you're thriving disproportionately. And then you must say to them, you know, I've been well for so long that I considered for the next decade being sick so that sick people could be well. And then I realized, even if I got sick, they wouldn't use the wellness. And in the same way, I've decided not to deprive myself of anything, because my deprivation does not leave it in a pile for somebody else to achieve, because everybody's got their own pile. It's the promise of that which we are. If this time-space reality has the wherewithal to inspire a desire within me, it has the wherewithal to deliver it. Haven't you noticed the resources? Where do you get this idea that you are depleting resources when you have no idea of the regenerating of resources process? In other words, you're brilliant and you're beautiful, but as humans, you have not managed to scrape enough dirt together to launch another Earth into orbit. In other words, the resources of this environment are vibrationally based. You say, oh, well, we've looked into the oil fields, and we say, no, you haven't. Anyone that says there is a depletion of oil wasn't with the geological survey team that was in Sierra Blanca, Texas, and announced to Jerry years ago that there was more oil under that land than they could ever use in several generations. They have not begun to drill it or tap it. They have not begun to utilize the resources of this planet. And even if you were fast on the track of utilizing them, you still don't understand that first it is thought, and then it is vibration, and then it is manifestation. And that's how every resource that you have got here. And there are endless more resources for endless more generations coming after you. The imbalance that you're worried about is not the imbalance that you find when you use your resources faster than they're coming in, because that can't happen. You cannot want faster than source delivers. It cannot happen. It defies law. But you can want faster than you allow. You can deprive yourself of what you want. You could get vibrationally out of whack with the resources. Don't you find it amazing? Jerry stood on the border of San Diego and Mexico and marveled at the difference in what was going on. Look at the difference. It is the same desert. It is the same climate. It has the same resources. And look at the difference in what's going on. There's something more going on. And we're telling you that what it is, it's thought, it's expectation. It's the way you are approaching your life. So don't wait around for everybody else to decide that it's all right for you to be happy. Because if you wait for a government proclamation, how soon do you think that will come? We have ridded your world of all things unpleasant, they will say to you one day. It cannot happen. It's not their job. They cannot do it. You do not need to rid the world of unpleasant things. You just need to focus on the pleasant things. And when you do, you will line up with the source within you. And when you line up with the source within you, you will be a vibrational match to the well-being that your life has caused you to create. And when you are a vibrational match to the well-being that your life has caused you to create, then you will be a living, breathing example of thriving, as you are already in comparison with so much that's going on. Nice to know. And if you ever see someone who's determined to set the world straight by finding a pocket of something that isn't going well and to use their resources to make it go well, you find that it blows back in their face every single time, because you cannot push a noodle. You cannot create in someone else's environment. You cannot give them what they are not vibrationally in alignment with, even if they want it. Even if they want it, even if they desperately need it, you cannot give them what they desperately need and have any success in it, because if they are not a vibrational match to what they are asking for, it bounces right off of them. It is vibrationally, by law of attraction, not a possible thing to do. A lot of the sadness that so many of you feel is because you thrive and you want others too, and when you see others not thriving, you feel guilty about your thriving. And we say, live the clarity of example. Thrive and tell them how you thrived. Explain to them that at first it wasn't easy for you to expect things that you hadn't already lived, but you began to use the power of your mind. You began to deliberately think and deliberately feel, and you began to notice the correlation between what you were thinking and feeling and what was coming to you. And then you were off and running, because then you understood there were no limitations, that you could be or do or have anything. And let them know that you want same for all of them, that you understand that there is no deprivation, that there is no lack, that there is no squandering, that there is no more using more than my fair share. There is none of that. There's only lining up with who life has caused me to become. And when any of you do that, you'll thrive. And when you're thriving, then you'll be the example that you've come forth to be. You can't get sick enough to help sick people get well. And you can't get poor enough to help poor people be prosperous. And you cannot become confused enough to bring clarity to the world. And you cannot become sad enough to bring joy. You cannot deprive yourself of who you are and be that which you've come forth to be. So, nice to know, isn't it? We're not asking you to push against even those that push against. In other words, you know you're really an allower when you're able to allow those who aren't allowing you. Then you've really got it, which means your feelings are unhurtable, which means you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, which means you're seeing the world through connected vision. We are eager to talk with you. What do you want to talk about? Nothing off limits. Some things, some very good things. Begin right here. Yes.